Lieutenant, we had an incident here on Charleston. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, from the preliminary information that we have thus far, from information we received from witnesses and evidence at the scene, at approximately 21:36 or 9:36 this evening, a woman, we believe in about her 20s, was crossing Charleston at Lucerne, which is just east of our location, with a small child from the south side of the road going to the north side of the road. As they got to the north side of the road, there was a RTC bus that was traveling westbound in the far right lane of Charleston, and unfortunately the bus collided with those two individuals. The adult was transported to UMC Trauma, where she suffered serious injuries. Unfortunately, the child did not survive the collision. The bus driver has remained on scene, has been cooperative with the investigation. At this time, we do not believe speed or impairments are factors in this crash. The concerns that we have right now is, as of right now, over the last 4 days, this is the fourth person who's been killed on our roadways since Monday. And in each instance, those individuals were in the roadway under circumstances where they should not have been in the roadway. If you look behind me here on Charleston, the county has done a lot of work to try to mitigate these circumstances where we have people in the roadway illegally. They've put up this ornamental iron on the medians to dissuade people from jaywalking across a very busy and very dangerous road. Unfortunately, at Lucerne, there's a large gap in that ironworks to allow for cars to make left-hand turns. And then another concern we have is we're here at the corner of Arden or Marion and Charleston, and east of here for about half mile, all the street lights on both sides of the road are out. And so you have circumstances where people are crossing the street when they shouldn't be, in an area where they shouldn't be crossing, where it's very low light, and under those circumstances it gives any driver a difficult time to be able to determine what's happening right in front of them. And so we ask at this time, especially now that we have the loss of a small child, that people be mindful. Our pedestrian community is very important to us, and these things are very hurtful for us all when we respond to them and investigate them. And we just hope that those who are getting this information will take the time and be mindful of making sure that when they're crossing the road, they're doing so when in a safe place to do so, in an area where they're allowed to do so, and at a time they're allowed to do so. And we also ask that when that time comes where you need to get off the sidewalk and go into the street, that you pay close attention to what you're doing. Keep in mind of everything that's happening around you, so that you have the ability to make motions or take actions that may save your own life. And unfortunately, tonight's event is tragic all the way around.
Do we know if this was a mother and their child, or do we know anything like that?
Unfortunately, at this time, we have not been able to identify the adult or the child. So at this time, we do not know of the relationship between the two.
Do we know if anybody was on the bus at the time of the incident?
From what I understand is we had one rider who was here when officers arrived, but they had very minimal information about their being a witness to the collision.
Any word on why there was a gap in between the road here?
So the gap is for, they have designated left-hand turn lanes. There's actually islands There's an island right in the middle of the intersection there at Charleston and Lucerne, and it allows for anyone going eastbound on Charleston to make that left-hand turn, and anybody going westbound to make a left-hand turn. They're dedicated turn lanes for those individuals, and because traffic needs to be able to see what's coming in the other directions to make a safe turn, there's a gap in that ornamental iron, unfortunately for us, under tonight's circumstances, right at that spot where those two individuals decided to cross the street tonight.
But there was no actual crosswalk, right?
No, it's not a actual crosswalk, nor is it an implied crosswalk.
So one deceased and one critical care?
Yes, one deceased and one with serious injuries at this point.
How long have the lights been out over here?
I'm not sure the duration of how long they've been out. We do have representatives from the county out here. That's part of what they do is they take an engineering assessment of what can be done differently or what needs to be done differently out here to keep things like this from happening. Just unfortunately, you have circumstances where it's dark out already. There's no lights on the roadway, and the one place where a pedestrian can get through Charleston in this stretch of road is the place where they decided to cross through, and that's unfortunately where they came in contact with the bus tonight.
Any last message for people out there, or pedestrians?
For pedestrians, just be mindful of what you're doing and how you're doing it. Again, the 4 pedestrian deaths in 4 days are all individuals who were in the roadway at a time when they shouldn't have been in the roadway. And for our driving community, you know what? You can never anticipate what the people around you are going to do, be it pedestrians or be it other drivers. And so that's why it's important for you to mind the speed limits on the roads that you're at, pay attention to what's going on around you, and just like with the pedestrians, it's when you're driving, that's not a time to be multitasking. The only thing that you should be focusing on when you're driving is your driving.